Shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, we want to start by giving the all high praise, honor, glory. Do it to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Hashem, Kakudash. And double honors to the elders. Seek honors to the apostles of the great millstone and like-minded camps, preaching, teaching His word of truth, and with sincerity as always. Now, without any further ado, week in and week out, from the prophesied downfall that's going to come to this kingdom here, known as Babylon the Great, or as we like to say, America. And to show our people on this time who you are. All you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, you are the true Hebrew Israelites, which the Bible speaks about. And so we're going to agree on the prophecy.
Did I get it right home?
Don't interrupt. America being destroyed, and us being turned back to our true heritage. We start even getting judged. And some people might think, because brother, some people here in America, they think that Iran's going to get its ass beat. But like you and me, when the brother was telling me,
Did I get it right home?
Hey man, we busy right now. Go ahead.
Yeah, just get
on
out.
there, man.
That's say it right there. But like you were explaining to me, bro, you explained it perfectly.
Yeah.
Explain to them how Iran's going to.
So yeah, this whole war that's going on has been started up fresh. Okay, we're about a week in. Okay, the 6 days in. I believe it's the 6th or the 7th day. And what you have going on now is because the United States of America, which is Babylon the Great, did not prepare properly for this ground incursion, this war that they wanted to start. Now they're having to revise their plan. Okay, they thought they could just come in and drop bombs and the regime would change, Iran would collapse. But what you've done on the other hand is you've radicalized and you've motivated all the people of Iran, which are Sunni Muslims. Okay, by the way, those Sunni Muslims have now declared an official worldwide jihad against the United States, Israel, and all its interests. So you're no longer fighting a regular war. You're fighting a religious war, also known as a holy war. And the thing about Iran, okay, it's also known as ancient Persia. Those are the Persians that are described in Ezekiel 38. Okay, the Persian Empire that was in Daniel 2, the Persian Empire that was based in the book of Esther, the events of the book of Esther. Okay, also Ezra was alive. I believe it was Ezra that was alive during the Persian Empire. One thing you got to know about the Persian Empire, okay, is that land location known as Iran, okay, it is surrounded by mountains. Okay, so it is impossible, okay, for centuries, for actually thousands of years, you've had empire after empire after empire, specifically in that location, okay, in the Middle East. Many empires have spent and smashed themselves and their entire armies on that mountain range right across from Iraq. Okay, between Saudi Arabia and Israel, you have what's known as the Valley of Armageddon, okay? Okay, also known as Yahweh Shaphat, the Valley of the Lord's Judgment. Okay, right there, smack dab in the middle of Saudi Arabia. Okay, a little bit further north. Okay, that very location is the location where many empires have killed themselves. Okay, it's also known as a place where empires go to die, because it is impossible. Nobody has ever been able to infiltrate Iran through Iraq in those mountain ranges. And the United States is now talking about sending in ground troops. Okay. To try to overthrow the regime in Iran, which is not going to work out. This is why there's going to be a draft. Because there's going to be so many bodies, there's going to be so many dead American, British, Israeli soldiers that they're going to run out. And the only option they're going to have left is to draft you Babylonians, you YNs, you Israelites, and the rest of you Edomites that are here in America. They're going to have to draft you into their army and throw you into what's called that meat grinder over there. Okay? I watched one analysis, okay, that went into saying that you are going to see an amount of casualties that has not been experienced by the United States since D-Day. If you know anything about D-Day, okay, when the United States stormed the beaches of Normandy in World War II, when entire platoons were mowed down by machine gun fire because the Germans had established a fortified position in the high ground, okay? And you were trying to come in there. This will be even worse than that, okay? So anybody saying that, you know, Iran is gonna fall, now don't get it twisted. The United States is a powerful army, okay? They are bombing the shit out of Iran right now. But guess what? It doesn't matter because all their infrastructure is underground, all right?
I got this.
Go ahead.
This is Joel 3 and verse 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war. Wake up the mighty man, let all the men of war draw near. Hey, let the mighty man of war draw near. That says right here, the Lord is going to wake them up. Let them come up. The men of war draw near, let them come up. Let's get down to verse 12. Actually 11. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Sister, cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh. And so that's what the Lord has put in the spirit in them to go ahead and start this battle. Do you have something?
Yeah, I got this right here. This is Zephaniah chapter 3 and verse 8. It says, therefore, wait ye upon me, saith the Lord Yahweh, until the day that I rise unto the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations, which this is the verse that backs what the brother just read, okay? The Lord is gathering the nations for what? For the battle of Armageddon, okay? To the valley of decision, okay? It says, for it's my determination to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. That fire is going to go into the nuclear missiles that will be launched at the conclusion of all this. All right, we still have prophecies that need to pass, right? We got the mark of the beast, which is about to be implemented, okay, very soon now. Because what is this war really about? Why did, even though the United States probably knew that it was a stupid decision to start this war, which it seems like everybody knew that, but why did they do it anyway? It seems like they had no plan behind it. Because you got to understand that this president, Donald Trump, is not in control. He's controlled by the international banking families, okay, the Edomites, okay, Lucifer in the chapter of Isaiah, the 14th chapter. He's controlled by all of them, okay? So what they really want is to collapse the Western economy, to remove, okay, the Western homogeny with the United States dollar being the world reserve currency, okay? So when that happens, what you're going to have is you're going to have a reset of the world global system. And this is what the elites want to bring in. And the financial part of that system is going to be ultimately controlled by Revelation 13 and 16. I can get that.
Well, explain to them this. Explain. Because they might argue. They might argue that, oh, well, Iran might not last that long because I heard the U.S. has a plan, that a 4-week plan they expect to destroy Iran by that 4 week.
Well, what happens in war, okay, whenever you have a war between two nations, what happens from the start of that war until the end of that war is what you have is called the fog of war. Basically, both opposing sides have to appease their populations. They have to convince their populations that war is in their best interest and that they should continue to support their nations, okay? So what you're going to have is you're going to have the United States come out and say that they have a plan, that they're winning, everything's going good. Just like in that movie Civil War, when the president was on TV just talking about how the rebel forces were falling, the whole time they were losing, okay? Now the same thing goes in Iran. Iran is not going to tell their people exactly how things are going, but the United States is not going to tell their people how things are really going. So the United States could come out and say, oh, we have a 4-week plan. I thought 3 days ago it was a 4-day plan. The day after that, it was a 2-week plan. But now today it's a 4-week plan. And 4 weeks from now, it's going to be a 6-month plan. This is the exact same playbook that they played in Iraq, in Afghanistan. You were in Iraq for 20 years. It is supposed to be a 2-day operation. Okay? And this is what they call forever wars. All right? And, you know, these Babylonians, these people in America, they're too stupid to discern what's really going on. So obviously, these people are going to jump on board. You're going to have a lot of people joining the army. All these things are going to happen, okay? And they're going to get destroyed out there in the Valley of Yahushua. All right?
Well, explain to them how Iran has enough military arsenal within them to last pretty long.
Yeah. Iran is one of those nations where they are such a large nation. You got to understand, Iran is 4 times the size of Iraq. Okay? Iran is 4 times the size of Iraq, and it took the United States 20 years, and you still didn't even win. Okay? Now, you got to understand something. Iran, because of the United States sanctions, has been forced for the past 47 years to become internally and self-dependent. So all of their military, industrial, manufacturing capacity is in-house. All of their missiles, all of their military equipment, all of their bombs, all of their planes, everything Iran has is manufactured within Iran. They don't import anything, okay? And for the last 45 years, it's all been put underground in deep underground military bases. So you can't bomb them. So they have what's called missile cities underneath the ground in Iran, okay? So no matter what you do, Iran has the capacity to produce hundreds of missiles every single month. I think it was around 400 missiles a month, okay? While the United States, their defense missiles, you can only produce dozens per year. I think the THAAD missiles, they said they could only produce like 45 to 50 something a year, okay? I think it was 60 a year that they can produce, okay? The Iran can produce missiles without end, okay, for a very long time now, okay?
I got this, Isaiah 2nd Ezra 9 verse 1. He answered me then and said, better die the time diligently. Brothers, I am measuring the times because we see the times, we see the prophecies. Iran is getting close to destroying America.
That's right.
And the brother also mentioned how they got enough missiles to last what, 6 months, he said?
Yeah, Iran has officially declared that they have the military capacity to sustain the rate of fire that they're currently doing right now for 6 months. Okay, and they can continue beyond that at a reduced rate of fire for many, many years. Okay?
And the brother mentioned how they can make how many missiles a month?
I think it was between 300 and 400 missiles a month.
300 and 400. So on that time, they can still be building up their arsenal.
That's right.
So better die the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass. And that right there is a big sign. So that's why we're out here. We're bringing it out.
Yep.
We're still able to come out here. They haven't shut this word down, because they're going to shut this word down soon. So we're out here, man.
That's right.
And the brothers that's been out here, like, long time, bro, this is like just another day. This is nothing new to us. When we first came in, we were all excited, and we still are excited, but it's like it's already past the due.
That's right. We've been waiting.
We've been waiting.
That's right. Especially our elders. They've been waiting. 40 years plus, man. Our elders have been out here talking about what's going to happen to this place. You know?
And so we're almost out of this place.
Right.
You got a scripture?
Yeah. Like I said, this whole thing is the ultimate goal for these ruling elites, these Edomites, is to control the world, okay, by microchipping everybody, okay? And they need the current system to collapse. That's why they're pushing America into an unwinnable war so that the Western system will collapse. So what are they going to come with behind it? Right here, Revelation chapter 13, verse 16 says, He causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. That mark is going to be the new financial world order, the new medical world order. Everything that a human needs to survive is going to be included in that mark. It's going to be a RFID microchip that is going to be made mandatory in order for you to participate in society after society has collapsed as a result of this war. Okay? They're doing it on purpose. You know?
And I got this more in the 2nd Ezra chapter 9, verse 2. Then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. We're understanding it now. It's saying, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. So So if you measure the times, now you're going to understand that really this is time. The time is now. It's the very same time that the Lord is going to visit this place. So if you know that the Lord is going to visit this place, you're going to measuring the times tediously. That's tedious work.
That's right. That's right. Tedious work, man.
And then,
go ahead.
Then you're going to understand that Yahweh Shai is going to come soon. It's going to be here soon. One day you're going to see the look up in the skies. And you're going to see a big ass UFO carried there to look up as you like. But you have some.
Yeah, like the ox said, this is tedious work. And for me and the brother, you know, we're considered new in the faith. All right. But if you can just imagine the men that have labored for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, that's an extreme amount of faith that you got to have in order to continue that fight. All right. But that spirit from Yahweh Hashem Yahushua was put on him. All right. To do that. Let me read this. This is Luke chapter 21 and verse 10. It says, then said he unto them, nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, and famines, and pestilence. You see, it's not just war. There's more stuff to come, because right now, we can go to the store and get some food right now if we want to. We're really not that worried about it. Right now, you don't have like a large pandemic, deadly disease running through America right now. There's more to come. Okay, so we're also going to tell you about those things as well. Okay, it says, and great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, and famines, and pestilence, and fearful sights. Those goes into things like apparitions. The Lord's going to have a lot of spiritual things happening in America and all around the world in these last times. All right, this war is just getting started. All right, it says, but before it says, in fearful sights and great signs shall there be from heaven. Didn't we just have another blood moon the other day? And then we had, what was that? The planetary alignment. I believe that was last week. Okay? Those are signs in the heavens. Okay? One more verse. It says, but before all these, so before all these things come, it says, they shall lay their hands on you and persecute you, delivering you up to the synagogues and to prisons, being brought before kings and rulers for my name's sake. So the Lord said, before all these things happen, the Hebrew Israelites, the ones with the true 100% doctrine, they're going to be persecuted. Our elders have been persecuted, okay? Our elder brothers, they've been persecuted, okay? But again, we're here to remind you that during the time of Jacob's trouble, we're also going to be persecuted during that time as well. All right?
Well, yeah, and I got this as well. I got to share this. Secretarius 9 and verse 3. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes, the brothers mention a blood moon. That's in Joel 2. You might as well get that.
I'll get it.
Joel 2, the blood moon. It says in that verse, it says that blood moon represents the great day of the Lord. That's how important that blood moon is. When those blood moons happen, that's what that means. It means the Lord. Because in the kingdom, we're not going to have blood. So to not have a blood moon, that's really a curse. It's really a sign. And then today they numb it down so you think it's, and you're docile to it. You're conditioned to think, oh, it's just a sign. You got to get a telescope to look at that. It means a good harvest.
I got it.
It really means this. Go ahead.
This is Joel 2 and 32. It says, and it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord Yahweh shall be delivered, for on Mount Zion and in Jerusalem shall be deliverance, as it says, verse 31, Joel 2 and 31. It says, the sun shall be turned into darkness and the moon into blood before the great and terrible day of the Lord Yahweh, comes. So the Lord gave us signs. I believe actually for the last 3 years, there's been a blood moon every single year in the month of March. Okay, and this is the third year that it's happened. Okay, so the Lord is clearly giving signs, right? That is, his son is about to return, Yahweh Shai.
In this second Ezra chapter 9 and verse 3, Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, and you have an uproars right now over there in Iran, and they say that just shortly before that earthquake, around the time when those alignments happened, you had 5 earthquakes in South Carolina last week. So that is no coincidence, and that's not a normal thing to have 5 earthquakes in South Carolina like that. That was from the Lord. That's a sign from the Lord. So I'm gonna get this 2 Ezra chapter 9 and verse 4. Then shalt thou well understand. Once again, well understand. How are you gonna well understand that when the end is coming? Measuring this time, and ultimately you gotta have this scripture that you're doing that properly measure the times and the signs. Then shalt thou well understand that it is that the Most High spoke of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like his order that is made in the world has a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. Because from the beginning, before Yahweh even made Yahweh Shai, he already knew when that this would happen, and when Yahweh Shai will return to America to lift up his elect.
That's right.
So we're just baby Yahweh Shai. And sometimes we don't even know the time. We may doubt. But look at the prophecy. Continue to have the faith. Sometimes you don't have faith, you lose faith. Or you could lose your faith because of your doubt. But keep having faith. You have something.
Yeah, I got something right here to match up perfectly with what we were just going into. Okay, this is Luke chapter 21, verse 25. It says, "And there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations." All of those Gulf Arab states, all those Ishmaelites, they're in distress right now. Why? Because one thing that happened was the United States of America came in and did what? They established their military bases in that area with the promise of protection if anything went down. Now that Iran is bombing those nations, the United States is nowhere to be found. Okay, so now all of these nations are going to side with Russia, China, and Iran. Okay, because the United States cannot be trusted. It says, "With perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring, men's hearts failing them for fear and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken." So the ruling class elites, their power is going to be shaken, because what's going to happen is they have a certain plan, but their plan is not going to be allowed to be forwarded up until a certain point. Okay, that's when the Lord is going to return. You can read about that in what is that? 2 Ezra 13.
Matthew 24.
Yeah, Matthew 24. Okay, the return of the Lord, man. That's going to throw a monkey wrench in all of their plans. Okay, keep reading. It says, "And then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud." That's a massive UFO chariot. Okay, planet-sized spaceship that the Lord is going to come back, and he's going to gather up the elect. Lord's will, me and the brother, me and Ak right here, we hope to be a part of that number, because we don't want to be down here when the missiles hit. Okay? It says, "Coming in a cloud with power and great glory. And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh." And something I can personally attest to is that ever since coming into this truth, okay, I've actually been looking at the night sky a lot more. I've been looking for chariots. I've been looking for, signs in the heavens. Okay, every morning when I go to work, first thing I do is I look up at the night sky, because growing up in the city, you really don't get to see a clear night sky because of all the light pollution and whatnot. But lately, the night sky, which I believe it's a gift from the Al-Bashim Al-Shai, for me to be able to see into the stars, see the heavens, okay, see chariots shooting across the sky. The Lord wants us to be looking up, because that's where the Lord is going to be coming back from. All right?
And Jakes don't understand that looking given to the elect. But this is 2nd Ezra chapter 9. And I'm going to continue in verse 6. Even so the tongue also of the highest hath plain beginnings and wonders. That's the one wonder right there. It's very, like the brother just explained. And powerful works. That this is a powerful work. What me and a lot of brothers are doing right. What me and this brother are doing right now as well. Standing up here. What a lot of brothers are doing right now. Turning on the record button on your little phone when you got your shows going. That's a powerful work. There's a lot of niggas that aren't doing this. A lot of people out here in this world, they're not recording their votes for the Al-Shah. Plain beginnings and wonders and powerful works and endings and effects and signs. So all these are signs. All these are signs of the end. When the kingdom comes, that's going to be this. They're just going to be signs of the beginning.
That's right. And me and Akir, go ahead, you got one?
Yeah. It states, it shall be preserved from the said perils. It shall be preserved from the said perils. The perils are floods, earthquakes, shit like that. Floods, earthquakes. Shit like that, man. But floods, earthquakes, bombs dropping, World War III happening.
Yep.
You might be wanting to kill you. Those are said perils. Right here. Shall be preserved from the sin realm. They shall see my salvation in my land. In my land. The land of who? The land of the Yahushua. The spiritual land. Because the literal land over there obviously is going to be destroyed. The actual land is going to be us gathered. And everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to be And everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by his faith, whereby ye have believed. Escape by his works and by faith. Self-explanatory. Shall be preserved from the said perils and shall see my salvation. Also proving that there's not going to be a rapture. Because it says it shall be preserved from the said perils. Meaning preserved, meaning you're still in it, but you're just exempted from death.
That's right.
And shall see my salvation in my land and within my borders, for I have sanctified them for me from the beginning. Ain't that something? And Yahweh, Yahushua, whoever has elect on, they've already said that, hey, these are going to be those who I'm going to say who I have. It says, one scripture reads, they shall not remove them from my hand. So whoever they elect on, they're already destined for salvation.
That's right.
They just don't know if they are fully of the elect, but they're destined for salvation. There's
That's right.
people that, those are the people, there's certain of the elect too who are alive right now who aren't going to die.
Yep, the Lord said that.
People today think that everybody's just going to die. But there's a selected number of people that's not going to die. You got something you can say?
Yep. The reason why me and the Ak can come out here with such confidence and tell you what's going to happen, okay, and go into these prophecies, is because the Lord gave an instruction, all right? The Lord instructed us to be preoccupied with the prophecies that are written in this book. Because you can read the Bible, right? But if you don't go into the prophecies, if you don't know the prophecies of the Bible, you're not going to know what's going to come. So let me read this. Revelation chapter 22, verse 7. It says, behold, I come quickly. Blessed is he that keep the sayings of the prophecy of this book. So when you're going into the prophecies, it really gives you all the answers. But the Lord has to put a spirit on you. The Lord has to put the spirit of Yahweh Shemi Shai, okay, through the Rakak Badash, the Holy Spirit, to rest upon you to understand what the book is talking about, what it's saying, okay? And the ones that get that, right, the ones that can understand that, those are the hopeful elect, okay? Let me get that as well. 2 Peter Actually, no, it's 1 John. Right here. This is 1 John chapter 4 and verse, I'm going to start at verse 4. It says, ye are of God, little children, and have overcome them, because greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. So greater is Yahweh Shem Yahushai, which is the mindset that you have to have. That mindset is only given by way of the Holy Spirit, the Spirit of Yahushua. Okay? It says, therefore speak they of the world. They are of the world, therefore speak they of the world. So like we come out and you say, you know, these Christians like to say, well, everybody can be saved. Well, they're speaking about the whole world. They're speaking about everybody in the whole world can participate in the covenant that was given to the Israelites, which is false. That's why they speak of the world, because they're not of the Lord. It says, we are of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. He that knoweth Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai heareth us. So in order for you to be considered part of the hopeful elect, you got to be able to hear the prophets come out to the highways and byways and explain to you these prophecies, and you're going to hear it. You're going to understand it. Something inside of you is going to click, okay? And you're going to be able to go into this book and learn the 100% truth. Let me continue. It says, he that is not of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai heareth not us, which is most people, right? Most people don't hear us. They don't understand us. They don't get it. They don't believe. You know why that is? Because they're not of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. It's like a video game. All these people you see out here, these are all NPCs. These people don't matter. Okay, they're not even really alive. Really, they're just souls lost, dead. You know, zombified. Okay, most of these people don't really understand what's going on. Okay,
Yeah,
but it's
just like the brother mentioned out there, like basically describe the zombies.
Yeah.
Basically, brother describe the zombies as dead, not alive. And something about a zombie is they can infect you as well. A zombie can infect you.
Right.
So we make sure, this is myself, I gotta make sure that they don't bite me. So they don't infect me. And then if I don't infect the brother, or that they don't bite the brother and infect him, then he bites me and infects me.
That's why they make TV shows like The Walking Dead. That's really about, you know, the elect, you know, trying to survive in a world of zombies, you know. Keep going. It says, we are of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. He that knoweth Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai heareth us. He that is not of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai heareth not us. Whereby know we the spirit of truth and the spirit of error. How do we know the spirit of truth? If you can understand us. How do we know, what's that in Romans? The spirit beareth witness with our spirit, okay, that we are the children of God. So how do we know if you're an Israelite? How do we know if this sign applies to you? Well, the first line of defense, the first order is, what do you feel about the prophecies that we're speaking? Do you believe? Okay? Do you understand the things that we're saying? When we go into war, when we go into the prophecies of this book, do you understand or no? You know? That's the ultimate first line of defense, okay? When you go into the prophecies.
I'm going to continue in a second, unless you have something.
No, go ahead.
This is 2 Ezra chapter 9 and verse 9. And then shall they be in pitiful case, which now have abused my ways. Going back to these zombies. They're dead, they're gone.
Yep.
So they're not, and so the Lord, because since they're dead, the Lord ain't focused on them. Because the Lord made them dead to begin with. But the Lord's made the elect alive, so the Lord's going to focus on those that are in His, that are alive. But when it's all said and done, ultimately, obviously, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai doesn't want this shithole like this forever. This is His earth. Obviously, this is the Lord's earth. He's not. If you own this car, you're not just going to want to keep letting them fuck it up. You're eventually going to take it back from their ass and clean it up, restore it, patiently. to restore it and then pass it on to your seed. And that's what the Lord is going to do with this earth. Then shall they be in pitiful case which now have abused my ways, and they that have cast them off away despitefully, they cast away this wisdom, knowledge, this truth despitefully. Okay, burping at it, like this guy just did over here. Burping at it. All nonchalantly. The Lord's gonna destroy all that. The Lord's soon gonna require that. We require that. You do cast away my wisdom, my counsel. Shall dwell in torments. Shall dwell in torments. And I saw a video a brother posted, a Great Millstone brother, elder posted about these FEMA camps, concentration camps. And I saw in the clip how this Edomite was showing these fire chambers made of steel, where you can basically you put somebody in there and they're gonna be burned alive.
Oh, incinerators.
Incinerators.
Yep, incinerators. Yep. They got those.
They have a small size one that look like for kids, and then a bigger one that look like for adults.
That's right. That's how they're going to be getting rid of a lot of these bodies out here, man. Because Esau's about to go on a rampage, you know?
I speculate that Esau had to have ordered 50,000 of those, 10,000 for each state. Just like he has, they have more than 50,000 guillotines, 10,000 for each of the 50 states.
That's right. Eventually they're going to be used, you know?
Yeah, back when Obama was president, he was, that dude was also prepared. He was prepared because he was ordering bullets, ammunitions, guns, those kinds of bullets that kill.
That's right.
They've been prepared.
I got some. Unless you got more, right?
No, I'm not good.
All right, let me get this in 2nd Esdras, chapter 8. And if I'm start at verse 52, it says, "For unto you is paradise open, the tree of life is planted, and the future of life prepared, all abundance made ready, and the city builded, rest established, and goodness and wisdom bestowed in perfect measure. The root of evil is sealed up from you. Weakness and tiredness is taken from you. Corruption is fled into hell to be forgotten. Trouble is vanished, and unto you is shown the ultimate treasure of immortality." So Ezra was able to see this vision. Okay, the angel was working with him. The Lord was working with him. Okay, and it goes. You could apply that to the elect now. Okay, the Lord said, "Blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear." Okay, so to be able to have the faith bestowed upon you, okay, to be able to have the faith bestowed upon you is a gift from the Heavenly Father. Okay, this is why every day, once you wake up, you should be thanking the Heavenly Father that you were able to see another day and that you are in your right mind to understand what's going on. It says, verse 55, Therefore, ask thou no more questions for the concerning them that shall be damned. For the same, after they were granted freedom, despised the Most High, scorned His law, and forsook His ways. We can see that all over the place now in America. Most of these people that you ask, okay, you ask them, what do you think about the law of the Torah, the law of Moses? What do you think about it? People scoff at it. They hate it. Okay, they hate the law of the Lord. Then you ask them, what is the name of the Lord? They don't know. You know. You ask them, how should this world be run? Why is everything collapsing? Okay, they don't know. They just know that they want to do what they want to do. They want freedom for themselves, freedom to be a degenerate. Okay, that's why it says it's the multitude. It says, therefore, ask no more questions concerning them that shall be damned. For the same, after they were granted freedom, despised the Most High, scorned His law, and forsook His ways. Verse 56, Moreover, they have trodden down his righteous, and have said in their heart that there is no God, yea, that knowing they must die. For as the things which I told you before shall be your portion, so too those other sufferings, thirst, and torment, which shall be prepared for them. So like we were saying, we were going to the Akh, the things we were reading, the plagues coming upon Babylon the Great, war, famine, pestilence, evils, okay, that's for the 2/3. That's for all of these other people in the other nations. That's not for the elect. The elect are going to be here in it as a test. But ultimately, the elect are going to receive that salvation when Yahweh Shai comes back on that cloud, that chariot, man. You know? Yep.
Talking about the chariot, when Elijah goes into how there's many more of us.
Yep.
I like this account because it's very powerful.
I believe that's 2 Kings.
This is a very powerful moment in the scriptures that the Lord blessed us to be able to read today. The Lord didn't have to add that. He could have taken that out.
Yep.
He could have just said, no, I don't need to add this. You're going to have to believe this without reading that. But you get that.
This is 2 Kings chapter 6. Okay? 2 Kings chapter 6. Let me start at verse 12. 2 Kings 6 and 12, and it says, and one of his servants said, none, my lord, O king, but Elisha, the prophet, that is in Israel, telleth the king of Israel the words that thou speakest in thy bedchamber. Okay, because remember, the Assyrians were going to attack Israel, okay? But Elisha warned the northern tribes, he warned the northern tribes about what was about to come. So the Assyrians were mad. So they were going to go after Elisha, all right? And they tried to surround him, okay? This is that story, okay? It says, and he said, go and spy where he is, that I may send and fetch him. And it was told him, saying, behold, he is in Dothan. Therefore sent he thither horses and chariots and a great host. And they came by night and compassed the city about. It says, and when the servant of the man of God, which was Elisha at the time, okay, it says, when the servant of the man of God was risen early and gone forth, behold, and hosts compassed the city, both with horses and chariots. And his servant said unto him, alas, my master. It says, how shall we do? And he answered, fear not, for they that be with us are more than they that be with them. Okay, he was talking about the angels, the chariots. That servant at that time, he couldn't see them, but they were there. Like me and Ak, we know that we're surrounded by chariots right now, by angels right now. We just can't see them at this moment in time, but they will be made manifest. Verse 17 says, Elisha prayed and said, Lord, I pray thee, open his eyes, that he may see. And the Lord Yahweh opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw, and behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire round about Elisha. So that's not talking about literal horses, literal chariots of fire. That's talking about what would be now called UFOs, flying saucers, spaceships, okay? Alien life forms, right? That's what that's talking about. Those are the chariots of the Lord, the chariots of Israel, okay?
Second Ezra chapter 9 and verse 10. For such as in their life have received benefits and have not known me. This is what Yahweh is saying. These are Israelites today, ones on the sign once again, that are not seeking Yahweh because once again the Lord made blind their eyes to not see. And yet, they have received benefits and not known Yahweh Shemashah. So they haven't, basically, those Israelites haven't been dealing with demonic attack. They don't have demons attacking them. They don't have that flesh battle with you. And they have received their consolation on this side. But their lot is to be of the two-thirds. It says the same must know it after death by pain. Because some of those Israelites are going to go through their incinerators. Some of those Israelites are going to go through seeing their loved ones killed in front of them. That's in Isaiah 13. See if you can get Isaiah 13.
Yep.
And GNT. It said, they shall see their children die before their eyes, and their women raped. Certain these Israelites, Israelites, they're going to see their woman, or have their woman get raped. Some of them may just get killed, gunned down, trying to save their woman. Some of them are going to get more tortured, slow paced with that starvation, or incineration, or the nuclear missiles, or all of those, all kinds of forms. But remember, you got it.
Yeah, I gotta grab it.
So, first gonna get the scripture, and amen. We're in that time. Just like that black bitch recently that went to July, and then she's gonna come back. That's how the Israelites are gonna get caught up, man, and when you're just unready. When you're just not going to be prepared. Ultimately, spiritually prepared. Spiritual is even powerful than whatever is physical. Prime example, Yahweh. He's powerful when you don't see him. You can't comprehend it. You can think he got all his knowledge and can comprehend it. But then that's vanity, because he already knows.
I got it.
You can't comprehend that, and he has you blinded from that. Whenever you got it.
This is Isaiah chapter 13. I'm going to start at verse 14 in the GNT. It says, the foreigners living in Babylon will run away to their homelands, scattering like deer escaping from hunters, like sheep without a shepherd. Anyone who is caught will be stabbed to death. That's crazy. Okay, that's actually what's going to be going on here in Babylon the Great. All right. Another thing, it says, anyone who is caught will be stabbed to death. While they look on helplessly, their babies will be battered to death. Their houses will be looted, and their wives will be raped. Okay? We keep telling y'all, it's about to get crazy in Babylon the Great here, man.
And that's in the scriptures, so that's a prophecy, so that means that's going to happen that same exact way.
Yeah, this is Isaiah, too. He's probably the largest prophet in the book. Okay? Isaiah is the largest prophet in the book, so he's a major prophet. This is a major prophecy about the collapse of society that is about to take place. We keep telling you about this war in Iran, right? This war in Iran is going to lead to this, right? Okay?
You can get that in the easy translation.
Yep, easy translation.
I'll give this as well. That's 2 Ezra chapter 9 and verse 12. The same must know it after death by pain. That's going to be the pain. It's going to be painful because that's what their God has been. Their God's been their woman. Their God's been their man. So the Lord's going to call their bluff. And tell them, oh, since you love this, that's what your God has been. I made that to be your God. That's just closed for your very little eyes. That's how the Lord works, man. That's how dirty the Lord plays. The Lord is the ultimate dirty player, man. He ain't gonna fight fair of your ass. He's gonna kick you in the balls, man, and then sucker punch you, man. Or some cases, you just blow your ass.
I got it right here. Isaiah 13. I'm gonna start at 14 again in the easy English Bible. And it reads, everyone will try to run away and escape. They will run anywhere like a deer that runs away from a hunter. It says, they will be like sheep with no shepherd. To lead them, they will return to their own countries and homes. So all this whole melting pot America, everybody comes and migrate to America. That's over with, man. All you Punjabis, man, you going back to India, okay? Issachar's gonna try to go back to Mexico, all right? All these people in China, Moab going back to China. Everybody's gonna leave as soon as society collapses, okay? It says, the enemy soldiers will catch all those who do not escape. Well, what do we got? The UN troops. We got all these military-age males that came across the border. Iranian troops, jihad, right? Got it all going on, okay? It says, the enemy soldiers will catch all those who do not escape. They will use their swords to kill everyone that they catch, okay? And it says, they will knock their children down in pieces while their parents watch. They will rob the people's homes and they will have sex with their wives. That's straight up. They ain't gonna be having sex, man. They're gonna be taking that shit unwillingly. That woman is gonna give it up unwillingly. All right. Great.
Might have been the NLT.
NLT. Let me try to get that.
I'll get this as well. 2 Ezra chapter 9, verse 13. And therefore be thou not curious how the ungodly shall be punished, and when inquire how the righteous shall be saved, whose the world is, and for whom the world is created. Proving that the world is Israel is only that Israel is that world and God creates it too. And beside that, that's the point. Be not curious how the ungodly shall perish. Satan has been attacking brothers to. Satan will attack you to want to focus all on that, but you got to get on the level. Me myself, I've been repeating that scripture a lot to myself. Somebody's been attacking me, and I've been like trying to rebuke him by saying, man, I'm not worried about how these reprobates, maggots are gonna be destroyed, man. I'm worried about what I need to do, how I'm gonna get saved.
That's right. I got it right here. Isaiah 13 and 14 in the NLT. Everyone in Babylon will run about like a hunted gazelle. Like sheep without a shepherd, they will try to find their own people and flee to their own lands. Anyone who is captured will be cut down, run through with a sword. Their little children will be dashed to death before their eyes, and their homes will be sacked, and their wives will be raped.
Right there, your children will die before your eyes. Mm-hmm. Your houses, what did it say?
It says their houses will be sacked.
Sacked. And their wives what?
Raped.
Raped.
That's right. And the Lord didn't hold back on that one. The Lord says straight up, hey, these bitches gonna get raped, dog. Like, and these are the words of the Lord. This is a prophecy. This is thus saith the Lord. So when you go to the Christian church, go ahead bring that verse out. You know, tell the pastor to read Isaiah 13 and verse 16. All right, see what he has to say about that. You know. Oh no, but they think they're gonna get raptured, right? They're gonna get raptured before that. Oh, you ain't going nowhere. Oh no, you ain't going nowhere. All right, you're gonna be right here. All right. I think about that meme with Hulk Hogan. You ever seen that meme with Hulk Hogan? He goes, "I got you for 15 minutes of playtime." Okay, the Lord got you for about however long tribulation lasts. That's playtime for the Lord, man. Okay, he's gonna have what's that? Sirach 39 tells you that there be spirits created for vengeance. The Lord ain't gonna let you die right away. No, you gotta suffer first, man. You know, you didn't put your hands on the Lord's children. You fucked up.
Yeah, you know, a lot of those women are gonna get raped, especially
Oh yeah.
Those Israelite women, because there's a lot of them are fine.
Yeah.
They got a lot of fine women in here. Proud whereas we're bitches here. They're not really fine, but they got some fine. They got a nice ass.
Yeah, the bodies, man.
They got the body. They got the.
Oh, I got something.
They got that walk. And so they're gonna take them, and that correlates with Isaiah 3.
I was about to. That's the spirit. I was about to read that right now. And like the Ox said, a lot of these Israelite women, especially in Babylon the Great, these Western women, what do they like to do? They like to walk outside, basically butt-ass naked, wearing their tights, wearing their booty shorts, spandex, sports bras. Basically, all y'all are already out here naked, advertising everything, man. How many of those Hamite nationalists that came over across that border, they just wait, licking their chops, just wait. Wait till the lights go out, man. Just wait till there's no more 911. See, you women, you've been duped, you've been deceived by this devil to believe that he's going to protect you. He's not going to protect you. Okay? When the lights go out, these Hamites, these Iranians, okay, these Ishmaelites over here, Moab, they got them all in this country. Every state got them. And they're all going to come out at night. The freaks come out at night, like as they like to say. All right? I was going to read what the Ak brought up. Isaiah chapter 3 and verse 16. It says, moreover, the Lord Yahweh said, because the daughters of Zion are haughty and walk with stretched forth necks and wanton eyes, walking and mincing as they go and making a twinkling with their feet. That means they're walking provocatively. They're walking provocatively, seeking attention. You know a woman when they look at you and they got that look in their eye, that adulterous, wicked ass fornication look, okay? But here's the thing, they've been mentally driven into that, so they don't know any other way to live. So when the lights go out, they're still going to be doing that, and it ain't going to be no 911.
Yeah, their mother's taught them how to walk that way, how to dress that way.
Yep.
All through science.
That's right. Verse 17, it says, therefore the Lord will smite with a scab the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion. That goes into alopecia. A lot of you so-called black women, nigga women, okay, that's what you do. Okay, you got that. Okay, it says, and will discover their secret parts. It says, in that day, the Lord will take away the bravery of their twinkling ornaments. It says, about their feet and their claws and their round tires like the moon. All these women walk around with BBLs and fake tits. Okay, and look, the Lord is going to humble these women in an extreme way. Okay, that's when Isaiah 4:1 comes into play. Okay, I can get that after this. It says, the chains and the bracelets and the mufflers and the bonnets and the ornaments and the legs and the hand belts, handbands and the tablets and the earrings and the rings and the nose jewels. See, these women, okay, that's all witchcraft. All the makeup and the weave and all the extensions, right? The push-up bras and shit, you know? The tight leggings, right? That's what they like to do. It says the changeable suits of apparel and the mantles and the wimples and the crisping pins and the glasses of fine linen and the hoods and the veils. And it shall come to pass that instead of sweet smell, there shall be stink. Okay, that fish smell. We know what that is. And instead of a girdle, a rent. Instead of well set hair, baldness. And instead of a stomacher and girding of sackcloth and burning instead of beauty, you're gonna be fat, black, bald, and ugly.
Oh, I got a scripture for that.
Go ahead.
Isaiah, Proverbs 30:20. Such is the way of an adulterous woman.
Yep.
She eateth and wipeth her mouth. And saith, I have done no wickedness. That's how these people are going to be dirty.
Yep.
That's really not why. Find the woman you.
That's right.
And if he thinks we didn't loyalty, learn something new, he thinks we didn't loyalty, well, I'll have to find you to loyalty.
Right.
Unless I see her make it on the chair.
That's how these women are in Babylon the Great. That's how they've been trained. Okay? Because they have too much power here. The Lord said in Jeremiah 31, he said that a woman shall come past a man. Okay, that's a curse. meaning the woman is going to be able to usurp the authority of the man in her household. So a woman can just come down here, go to the police, okay, and make a report on her husband, and guess what? She's now usurped the authority of that man. So these women got too much power out here. That's why they do these things, okay? But the Lord's going to take that power structure away. So what are they going to do then? Nothing. Let me get the next one, next chapter. This is where Isaiah 4:1 comes in. Isaiah 4:1 says, and in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. So these women, you don't got to take care of them, right? The standard of today in Babylon is a man's supposed to take care of the woman. You got to pay the bills, buy her car, put gas in the car, pay her insurance, you know, get her hair and nails did. But the Lord said, you ain't gonna be you ain't gonna have to do none of that. As a matter of fact, the women gonna be paying us. They gonna be paying us, you know. They gonna be taking care of us.
And a lot of them aren't going to be accepted.
Nope. What's that sound? Nope.
Me personally, I really don't care for a woman on this side.
That's right.
I'll wait for it too.
These women are what do you call? These women are defiled. That's the word, defiled on this side. Every single one of them. Okay, now you do have some women, very, 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 very rare, few, unseen women that may be all right. But guess what? The numbers, right? Like I said, the numbers. You can't risk that. Okay? All these women are defiled. It says, in that day shall the branch of the Lord Yahweh be beautiful and glorious, and the fruit of the earth shall be excellent and comely for them that are escaped of Israel. Okay, so that's talking about the elect. The world is going to be great for us, but for the rest of these people out here, it's going to be all chaos, all hell breaking loose. Okay, on me and the Ak, Lord's will, we're going to be sitting back laughing at these motherfuckers, man. Now,
I got more on that. Talk about the woman.
go ahead.
Isaiah 38 verse 36. Who hath put wisdom in the inward parts, or who hath given understanding to the heart? That's the Lord, and this is chapter 39 and 12. Because Yahweh hath deprived her of wisdom, neither hath he imparted to her understanding. Going back to that woman. You have something else?
Yeah. Isaiah chapter 32. Start from the top.
I'll get this.
Okay, go ahead.
So that's the wicked. And I brought mentioned there is women of the elect, and that they're going in line with Proverbs 31 and 30 here.
That's right.
Favor is deceitful and beauty is vain. But a woman that fear of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, she shall be praised. A woman that fears Yahweh Bashim Shai. A woman like Esther, a woman like Judith.
A woman like Sarah.
Those kinds of women of the Lord.
That's right.
Unlike these women, you don't unlike all the women of the world. You already know, man. This thing, right? They got attitudes. They're entitled. They have to walk around with that entitlement.
Right. Proud.
The Lord ain't gonna deal with those type of women.
Right. As a matter of fact, me and I, that's one of the things, we can't wait for the 2/3 to get their judgment. But really, you women, because you can't say that the men of Israel have not been getting their ass whooped ever since they've been here in the shores of America. Us Israelite men have been absolutely forced to be accountable for our offgoings. You go to any prison right now, it's full of Jake, all right? It's full of Jake. Every video you see of a cop killing a nigga, that's Jake. But you women really ain't been held accountable ever since you got here. You women have been aligned with the devil ever since the garden, okay? And you've been reaping the benefits of simply just switching your allegiance to whoever's in power. But in the last days, see, there's a blowback, there's a trade-off to that. While in the last days, yeah, you've been able to go through these thousands of years without really being held accountable. But guess what? In the last days, all of that accountability for all of your lifetimes, and every single time you were proud, every single time you committed adultery, every single time you went against your man, all of that is coming right here in these last days for you women. That's why this tribulation is going to be worse for you women and children, man. Okay? Men know how to die. You women don't. Okay? Let me read this. Isaiah 32 and verse 1. Behold, the king shall reign in righteousness, and princes shall rule in judgment. That's the elect. Okay? And that king is Yahushua. Verse 2. It says, and a man shall be as a hiding place from the wind, and a covert from the tempest, as rivers of water in a dry place. That's an oasis in a desert. You ever, you watch some of those movies where if you see somebody and they're walking in the desert and they find an oasis with water and tropical fruit and all that, that's like the best thing ever. That's life-saving, right? So that's how a man is going to be, an elect man, not just any man, an elect man of the nation of Israel is going to be here during the tribulation. Okay.
Like the movie The Road.
Yep.
They found that bunker. They got their splurging.
Yep.
I can get this.
Yep.
Second Sirach, chapter 25, continuing on in the woman, this is 24. Of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die. And in Ecclesiastes, it says, but out of idolatry, man, I found one righteous. Out of idolatry, woman, I couldn't find one righteous. So it might be 10. But then, the reality, there is a ton of women. So there could be one righteous woman out of 10,000 women. And this is Sirach 26 and 13. The grace of a wife delights in her husband. And that's how we must be to myself as well for Yahushua. That grace of a wife delights in her husband, because we're like compared like unto the Yahushua's wife, his bride. And her discretion is knowing right from wrong. Discretion will fatten his bones. Her shamefacedness.
Yep.
Will lighten his bones. And that's certain brothers who may have a woman of the elect, or do have a woman of the elect. Some of the women of the elect, you can look at them and just tell they're of the elect.
That's right. That's because there's a spirit that emulates from the elect, man. There's a spirit of the elect are so powerful in spirit through the spirit of Yahushua. They're so powerful in spirit. You really can't contain that spirit. So when you engage with one of them, okay, you're going to be able to tell, especially if you are a discerner of spirits, which is a gift that was listed by Paul, a discerner of spirits. Okay. One of the gifts from the Heavenly Father is you being able to engage with a person and tell whether they're of the elect or not. Okay? I got this, Micah chapter 7. It says, and I'm sorry, verse 8. It says, rejoice not against me, O mine enemy, when I fall. This nation of people right here, especially the men of this nation, we've fallen. Okay, we're in a low estate. We're actually in the slave class. All right? But it says, I shall arise. When I sit in darkness, the Lord Yahweh shall be a light unto me. Yahweh is our light. He gave us the understanding of these scriptures, so now we can come out and we can spread the news, the good news, which is the gospel, which is the prophecies all throughout this book. Okay? It says, verse 9, I will bear the indignation of the Lord. It says, I will bear the indignation of the Lord, Yahweh, because I had sinned against him, until he plead my cause and execute judgment for me. He will bring me forth to the light, and I shall behold his righteousness. Verse 10, then she that is mine enemy, which is the women of our nation, she that is mine enemy shall see it. So what is she going to see? She's going to see the power. She's going to see the elect men, Lord's will, Yahweh Rakazah, me and this brother right here. Well, hopefully we get some of that power. Okay? It says, she that is my enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her, which said unto me, where is the Lord Yahweh thy power? Mine eyes shall behold her. Now shall she be trodden down as the mire of the street. So if it's going to be flipping of the tables, we're going to be the ones with the power. And the women are going to be the ones that are destitute. Right? That time is upon us. And this war with Iran kicking off is it is a massive indicator of where we're at prophetically. All right?
And I got Sirach chapter 26, verse 25. A shameless woman shall be counted as a dog, but she that is shamefaced will fear. A shameless woman shall be counted as a dog. So if people say that the scriptures ain't rough, that's the Lord saying right there. Back in that time, that would be what you would call a bitch. You call a woman today a bitch. Back in that time, that's what you would call her. That was similar to calling her a dog. Like,
Right.
in the ancient world, let's say an Israelite woman was passing by, and I just decided to call her, hey woman, you're a dog. That would have been fighting words right there.
Yep.
She would want to slap you or curse at you or some shit.
Yep.
But then if she slaps you, you grab her hand, chop her, and go. But she that is shamefaced will fear Yahweh. So a shamefaced woman will fear the Lord. And you got certain to be like, hey, you got Sarah today, back today, or Esther, or hey, you even got Jezebel back today.
Yep.
Or you got a woman like Judith back today, she's fearing the Lord.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Possibly gonna get, possibly waiting for a man in the Lord.
Yep.
And they may not get a man in the Lord. The Lord may have their lot to kill them and then send them to the spirit road and then, hey, I'll give you a man when you come back to the kingdom. They're starting to be like that and gonna get their woman till they make it to the kingdom. Daniel's back here today. He might not get to this woman, you know, that's in her right to order until he comes back to the kingdom. But it's not.
So let me go here, all right, because everything me and the brother are bringing out, these are prophecies, okay? Prophecy is the most important thing, all right? That is the most important thing because the prophecies are the testimony of Yahweh, okay? They're the story that is written, the record that is written before time that is written about Yahweh and what he's come to do, okay? Let me read this. 2 Peter chapter 3 and verse 1. This second epistle, beloved, I now write unto you, in both which I stir up your pure minds by way of remembrance, that ye may be mindful of the words which were spoken before by the holy prophets. So the whole point of Peter writing this letter is to remind you of what? To remind you about the prophecies. Okay? It says, and of the commandment of us, the apostles of the Lord Yahushua and Savior. Knowing this first, that there shall come in the last days scoffers, walking after their own lust. So think about it. When we bring out these prophecies, most people don't believe us. Most people are going to be, what are they talking about? They're crazy, man. You know, scoffing, walking after their own lust. Kind of like what a Christian says, well, that's the Old Testament. The New Testament says everybody can, if you call upon the name of Jesus, whosoever, that's your own lust. The word lust means to want. That's what you want to happen. It's not about what you want. It's about what the Lord said. It's about what was written down. Once again, Peter's over here reminding us about what was written down in the prophecies. Okay? It says, and saying, where is the promise of his coming? For since the fathers fell asleep, all things continue as they were from the beginning of creation. So these people, because they don't see anything happening, they say, the prophecies must not be true. They must be lying because, ever since their ancestors have died, many, many generations of these people have come and gone, right? We're still at the bottom. We're still in slavery. We don't have the kingdom of heaven yet, okay? And it really might not look like, well, to me and the brother, it does look like it. Me and the brother, we can see it clear as day. I mean, I don't know how you can't see it, but that's the Lord, right? The Lord blinded these people, okay? But to the blind, they don't see it, okay? They don't see a bomb dropping right now. They can drive down the street. They can go to fucking Mojo's over there. They can go to Ruth's Chris right now, order a nice fat steak, okay? So they're not worried about the Lord or his prophet. That's why they say things like this, but that's why they're gonna get caught up, man. You know? That's all I got.
I'm going to continue in 2nd Ezra chapter 9. Yeah, they can go to Mojo's, man.
That's right.
And do all that shit.
Mojo's are a bunch of faggots.
In 2nd Ezra chapter 9 and verse 15. I have said before and now do speak again, and will speak it also hereafter, that there be many more of them which perish than of them which shall be saved. Once again, like the brother mentioned, man, the dudes on this sign right here.
Right.
There's more people on this sign that's gonna die than that's gonna be saved.
Yep.
1/3. To give you an idea, me and the brother always like giving the pie example. You had a big ass pie, cut it to 3 equal pieces. Take 2 of them and throw them. That's a lot gone from that pie. You look, sweets. That's a lot of that pie that's gone. I have said before and now do speak again and will speak it also hereafter, that there be many more of them which perish than of them which shall be saved. Like as a wave is better than a drop. Like right now it's raining. And we can barely see one of these drops. That's one drop. And so that one drop is likened unto the remnant compared to all the people in the world. And then the rest of the people that aren't going to be of that remnant, whoever they may be, are that wave. And he answered, he's saying, like as the field is, so is also the seed. As the flowers be, such as are the colors also. Such as the work man is, such also is the work. You look at any type of job in construction, the workers are less than the work. The work is bigger than the workers. So the Lord's saying here, such as the working man is, such is also the work. And as the husband man is himself, so is the husbandry. Yeah, the husbandman, that's that one man. The husbandry is all the other men. Also, for it was the time of the world. That time. And now, when I prepared the world, which was not yet made, even for them, to dwell in that now live. That's the Lord saying right there. Before he prepared the world, he thought about this. He already said that. He already knew about this time we're in now. He knew about this. The Lord knew what I was going to say. I'm saying it right now, way before he even made me. Hey, even way before he even made Yahushua. He already knew this brother right here and what he was going to wear before he even made, actually manifested Yahushua's spirit.
That's right.
Even for them to dwell in that now live, no man spake against me. For the very 1:19, for that everyone obeyed, but now the manners of them which are created in this world, that is made are corrupted. Going back to the Garden of Eden, before the Garden of Eden was, everybody was in order, no one went off. Before Adam fell in the Garden of Eden, everyone was in order, nobody went off. For then everyone obeyed the manners of them which are created in this world. And that was back when Ezra was in that world. Think about it today. Are corrupted by a perpetual seed. Perpetual seed means a long time. Or eternal. And by a law which is unsearchable, rid themselves. They decided, at one point, everyone was keeping the laws before Adam fell off. Then that was because that spearheaded by Esau, wasn't it? Esau started all that.
Right.
Then the nations followed suit. And that's when they started getting their own language and getting their own laws. Hence why we're in this. And then it got to the point where Jake he decided to go follow after them. That's how bad it has gotten.
Well, that's really the crux of the issue is our people following after these other nations, man. We're supposed to be separate and holy, you know?
20. So I considered the world, and behold, there was peril because of the devices that were come into it. And that's all. That's this world today. Behold, there was peril because of the devices that were it got defiled. It's all defiled now. So Esau started it and increased it as well. So in a way you can say, you can argue, you can argue Esau started all this. Hence why his seed is going to be destroyed forever. And that's actually the truth. That's in the Protestant that we teach that.
Yep.
That's in Isaiah 14, right?
Yep.
Right.
Bear slaughter for his children, man. Also Obadiah chapter 1, verse 18. Esau is going to be taken out. He shall perish forever. Okay, I believe that's in the book of Job as well. I believe Job, the 18th chapter through the 20th chapter. Okay, Job, the 15th chapter goes into the destruction of the wicked. Okay, this is going to be an eternal judgment forever. They're going to be gone. You know?
And that's also in Daniel's 2nd chapter, the statute.
Mm-hmm.
This is that. Me and the brother went into that last year. This is that part of clay, part of iron. Part of clay, part of iron.
Yep. Babylon the Great, man. They got something. Like I said a little bit earlier, our people have been seduced by this devil and have followed after their ways. So what do we have to come out and do? We got to come out and tell our people to repent from following after this westernized society. Okay? This is 2nd Esdras chapter 1 and verse 9. It says, actually, let me start at verse 5. 2nd Esdras chapter 1 and verse 5. It says, go thy way and show my people their sinful deeds and the children their wickedness, which they have done against me, that they may tell their children, because the sins of their fathers are increased in them, for they have forgotten me and have offered unto strange gods. So here living in America, we grew up in a society that brainwashed us to worship idols. Okay? First off, the biggest idol in America is what? Jesus Christ. That's the biggest idol in America. The most, I would say it's probably the largest stronghold on the Israelites today. Okay? The second would probably be Islam. All right? You know, you got a large population of the world that is Islamic, Muslim. All right? Those are two very strong, powerful households, and we're here to tell our people, hey, you better repent from that, otherwise the Lord is going to smoke you. And now, what do you know? You got the empire of the world, which is a Christian nationalist empire that is about to go to war against the other largest ideology in the world, which is Islam. Okay? Just like Albert Pike. Albert Pike. That was his plan. That was the whole plan that he laid out in his manifesto. That the last World War III was going to be a holy war between Christians and Muslims. Okay? Ain't that ironic? You know? You get this. It says, because the sins of their fathers are increased in them, for they have forgotten me and have offered unto strange gods. I am not, it says, am not I.
Albert Pike got that from Satan. Satan was speaking to him when he wrote that. Mm-hmm. And Satan got those instructions from Yahweh.
Yeah.
As Elder Ramla went into that in that Cloisters Museum video.
Yeah.
The heavy-ass video.
You know, I did a video earlier this week on the deploying troops. They got certain troops deploying over there to the Middle East, and how they're not coming back. Okay, those troops that if you're getting deployed right now, you are not coming back. Say goodbye to your families, because you will be one of those bodies that the elites are going to be responsible for picking up. Okay. It says, "Am not I, even he, that brought them out of the land of Egypt, from the house of bondage? For they have provoked me unto wrath, and despised my counsels. Pull thou off then the hair of thy head, and cast all evil upon them, for they have not been obedient unto my law, but it is a rebellious people." And we know who he's talking about. There's no people on planet Earth that are more hard-headed and more rebellious than you Israelites, man. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, which really, it can be a good thing, but since you're doing it in wickedness, now you got to be destroyed. You're supposed to be hard-headed that way for the Lord's way, for the Lord's law, okay? But ultimately, it's for prophecy to be fulfilled, okay? Verse 9. "How long shall I forbear them unto whom I have done so much good? For it says, many kings have I destroyed for their sakes. Pharaoh with the servants and all his power have I smitten down. All the nations have I destroyed before." It says, "have I destroyed before them. In the east I have scattered the people of 2 provinces, even Tyre and Sidon." It says, "and have slain all their enemies. Speak thou therefore unto them, saying, Thus saith the Lord, Yahweh, I led you through the sea, and in the beginning gave you a large safe passage. I gave you Moses for a leader, and Aaron for a priest." So the Lord did all these good things for us. He gave us our own sovereignty, our own national land, right? And what did Jake do? He went off, okay? So we had to be punished. We had to be put into slavery. We had to go through the different captivities of Daniel, okay? And now we find ourselves at the end of days in the last captivity, before the elect are going to be able to go back to their original estate, okay? But it's going to be even better than it was before. Okay, and by the way, just a side note, you Christians, a lot of you say that the Apocrypha is not a part of the Bible because it doesn't say, "Thus saith the Lord" in it, and I just read it just says, "Thus saith the Lord." So, you're all liars, okay? Anybody that says that the Apocrypha doesn't say, "Thus saith the Lord," hasn't read 2nd Esdras chapter 1. And let me get it again. 2nd Esdras chapter 1 and verse 12. "Speak thou therefore unto them, saying, Thus saith the Lord." So, yes, the Apocrypha is the original part of the Bible, okay?
Even Yahweh quoted that, the Apocrypha.
That's right. And Paul quoted it many times. Romans chapter 1 is a direct excerpt from Wisdom of Solomon chapter 14.
Yahweh also kept
That's right, piece of dedication. And how do you think he learned about that? He learned about it in 1 Maccabees chapter 4. And Paul directly quoted, I believe that was in Hebrews chapter 7, he quotes 2 Maccabees chapter 7, okay? With a woman and her 7 sons, okay? So we know that the Apocrypha has prophecy in it. As a matter of fact, the chapter that I was reading before, I believe it was 2nd Esdras chapter 8, literally goes into the prophecy of Yahweh-Shai's death, okay? So,
this is 2nd Esdras 9 verse 20. "So I considered the road, and behold, there was peril because of the devices that were coming to it. And I saw it and spared greatly, and have kept me a grape of the cluster." Because the Lord ain't gonna destroy the earth, as you fake Christians believe. So the Lord is just gonna destroy a decent chunk of the earth, which is America. And kept me a grape of the cluster. That's his people, Israel. And the plant of a great people, Israel.
yeah.
22. "Let the multitude perish them which was born in vain, and let my grapes be kept, and my plant. For with great labors have I made it perfect." That's the work we're doing right now. Nevertheless, if thou wilt cease yet 7 days more, but thou shalt not fast in them, but go into a field of flowers where no house is builded, and eat only the flowers of the field. Taste no flesh, drink no wine, but eat flowers only.
Yeah.
That's a vegetarian herb diet that Ezra did. And 25, and pray unto the highest continually. Then will I come and talk with you. Just going back into that deep. Basically, it's part of special things like when you're in prison, you set a scheduled time for a special visit. That's what Ezra was doing. The angel set an appointment for Ezra to get the message from the Lord. The phone call from the hour.
Yep.
It says, so I went my way into the field which is called Ardoth, like as he commanded me. And there I sat among the flowers and did eat of the herbs of the field, and the meat of the same satisfied me. After 7 days I sat upon the grass, and my heart was vexed within me, like as before. And I opened my mouth and began to talk, for the Most High said, O Lord, thou that showest thyself unto us. That was showed unto our fathers in the wilderness, in the place where no man treadeth, in the barren place when they came out of Egypt. And thou spakest, saying, Hear me, O Israel. Israel, and mark my words, thou seed of Jacob. For behold, I sow my law in you, and it shall bring forth fruits in you, and ye shall be honored in it forever. But our fathers which received the law kept it not, and observed not thy ordinances. And though thy fruit of thy law did not perish, neither could it, for it was done. Yet they that received it perished, because they kept not the thing that was sown in them. Our people couldn't keep the laws, and this is what Ezra was vexed about. Let's see, 34, and lo, it is a custom, when the ground have received seed. That's the point. I'll jump to 41, and then he sees this woman right here. And then in 43 it says, She said unto me, I thy servant have been barren and have no child, though I had been husband 30 years. That's very stern. Yahweh shot started to be strict 30, but the point that I wanted from that is, Ezra thinks that this woman is a real woman, and the whole time it's just the Lord fooling him. And it's actually apparition. I think at one point she screams and the earth shakes. Then he sees I think he sees the city there.
Yeah.
Then in the end of it, Ezra had to, the laws and all the books were destroyed. Ezra had to, that's where the book of Eli gets that from. It's Eli meaning power. So it really means that the book of my power. These were deep things that the prophets, that's showing you how important the prophets are, man. Me and the prophets right here, man. And all you brothers, especially from our man.
Right.
It says through a prophet, Lord, Israel was saved. Through a prophet, the Lord shall be preserved, the ultimate prophet. Hey, Yahweh was a prophet.
That's right. Yeah, he was. He was the prophet. He's the high priest. Okay, he's the high priest in the heavens. Okay, according to the order of Melchizedek. Okay. Let me read this about the. You mentioned earlier that Israel was going to be a remnant of them was going to be saved. It's Isaiah chapter 10 and verse 20. It says, "And it shall come to pass in that day that the remnant of Israel and such are escaped of the house of Jacob shall no more again stay upon him that smote them." We're not going to rely on our enemies for the ruin of all things. That was a curse that was put on us in Deuteronomy 20th chapter, that we would not have any sovereignty, meaning we would have to go to our enemy in order to live. Now, if you got to go to your enemy in order to live, what do you think they're going to do to you? They're not going to help you out. They're going to enslave you. They're going to make sure that you're weak. They're going to make sure that you're stupid, you're docile, so that you never have your dependence, have your sovereignty. So they're going to rule over you forever. with rigor. Okay, it says, it shall no more stay upon him that smote them, but stay upon the Lord Yahweh, the Holy One of Israel. Notice, this is about Israel. It says, in truth, being an we have the truth. There's a lot of people that know they're Israelites, but they don't have the truth, 100% truth. It says, the remnant shall return, even the remnant of Jacob. That's the elect. All right? That's Romans, the 11th chapter. The remnant shall return, even the remnant of Jacob, unto the mighty power, which is Yahweh Shem Yahushai. For though thy people Israel be as the sand of the sea, yet a remnant, the elect of them, shall return. The consumption decree shall overflow, and the righteous, it says, with righteousness, for the Lord Yahweh, power of hosts, shall make a consumption even determined in the midst of all the land. So the consumption goes into all the destructions that we had to go through. But in its last days, that final consumption is going to be that fire, that final judgment. Okay? The northern tribes, they were consumed, right? The northern tribes were consumed by the Assyrians. The southern tribes, they got consumed by the Babylonians. They got consumed again by the Medo-Persians, and they're consumed again by the Greeks, consumed again by the Romans, consumed again by Esau's rebirth, renaissance of Rome. And now you're going to get consumed in this final judgment. Northern and southern tribes are going to be consumed in this final judgment by fire. Okay? It says, for the Lord of hosts shall make a consumption even determined in the midst of all the land. Therefore thus saith the Lord, power of hosts, O my people that dwelleth in Zion, be not afraid of the Assyrian. He shall smite thee with the rod, and shall lift up his staff against thee after the manner of Egypt. So right now, you can liken America unto Assyria and unto Egypt. Okay? So, once again, we're here to remind our people and tell them that it is time to repent. How much more are you going to play around with the Lord, man? The Lord is done playing. The Lord already sent America to war. Okay? You got two superpowers throwing missiles at each other right now. That's crazy. You still out here playing around with the words of the Lord, man. Okay? You're about to get destroyed. That's all I had.
Yeah, so that's what we're coming to warn y'all about. Blow the trumpet. Sound the alarm.
Got anything else, Ops?
You can get Ezekiel.
Yep.
Blow the trumpet.
Yep, I got it.
Sound the alarm. What's the third woe is going to come? Disease, plague, can't forget about the plagues. I remember a brother had a dream about the plagues that or diseases that were going to happen. He saw weird, strange ass diseases that you never seen before. They're going to Lord's going to bring. Strange apparition. I haven't seen the Lord, and I prayed for this as the Lord sends some plagues like the darkness, the plague of darkness that the Lord sent on you. And the Lord still has to bypass that, his past work, past craft. On a major scale. We're getting the blood off our hands. As the brother's going to read, you got it.
I got it. This is Ezekiel 33. I'm going to start from the top because the point is in 6. It says, again, the word of the Lord Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, speak to the children of thy people, the Israelites, and say unto them, when I bring the sword upon the land, if the people of the land take a man of their coasts and set him for a watchman, if when he seeth the sword come upon the land, he blow the trumpet and warn the people. It says, then whosoever heareth the sound of the trumpet and taketh not warning, if the sword come and take him away, his blood shall be upon his own head. It says, he heard the sound of a trumpet and took not warning, his blood shall be upon him. But he that taketh warning shall deliver his soul. But if the watchman see the sword come and blow not the trumpet, and the people be not warned, if the sword come and take any person from among them, he is taken away in his iniquity, but his blood will be required at the watchman's hand. So again, we're getting the blood off our hands. What we're doing right now by warning you about the destruction to come into America, what we're doing right now about warning you about this war that's about to start, that has already started. Okay, what we're doing right now is called blowing the trumpet in Zion. We're speaking to you, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and warning you, okay? So now, according to Ezekiel, the 33rd chapter, the blood is now off our hands because we're warning you, and we will continue to warn as long as the Lord allows us, okay? So we are continually washing our hands of your blood, all right?
What verse were you on?
That was Ezekiel 33 and 1 through 6.
And once again, that lake of fire. That 200 million missiles the Lord is going to shoot through it for me. That's in Revelation 9. At 200,000. 200,000 times 1,000, that's 200 million. You just get the last verse on there and we'll close out with that. Then shall they be known.
Yep. Ezekiel 33 and verse, all the way at the bottom. It says, slide here. Ezekiel 33 and 33. It says, and when this cometh to pass, lo, it will come, then shall they know that a prophet hath been among them. Okay? When these prophecies start to pop up right in front of your face, then it's too late. Then you're going to think back, man, those brothers were warning us, man. They were going out every weekend, they were making videos every day, and they were warning us. Okay? But then it's going to be too late. Then you're going to know that a prophet had been among you. All right? So we can close out with that.
Yeah, it's all funny, cookies and creams right now, but and a bunch of fucking and smoking and smoking and hoping, but when the Lord comes, it's gonna be the end.
That's right.
So with that, brother, unless you got some last
Now we can close out there. All right?
Shalom and a bar of ball.
A Bible ball.